Heroin and opioid abuse has been taking lives and tearing apart families.
In March, the governor declares a state of emergency.
All the state agencies are working arm in arm on this crisis.
And at the start of a new school year, schools redouble their efforts amid a troubling surge in the stats. ODs up, a flood of fentanyl, and a growing problem posed by prescription drugs.
We are rolling out a huge awareness campaign so that we can provide resources to teachers, curriculum ideas for making our students aware of the issues with drug addiction. I think now many of the folks that become addicted through prescription drugs.
If we don't get it right in your world, we are in trouble.
Clay Stapp worries about the schools.
There may be drugs in our schools. What do you think? Maybe?
He leads the governor's statewide assault on opioid abuse. At a school safety conference, he tells the story of his grandson.
He's in 7th grade, and I asked him if there were drugs in school, and he just very quickly said, yeah, Poppy, there are. And I said, well, what kind of drugs? And he said, heroin. They carry in their backpacks.
Stapp at the state and Salmon in the schools stand as pivotal figures in the fight.
To get behind assemblies, to get behind other programs and projects to drive awareness and prevention.
We're going to take a look at the data we collected as of last week.
Enter year 2 of Maryland Schools' statewide proactive approach. It starts with the standards. Opioid work groups like this one, convened by the State Department of Education, revise the curriculum across all grade bands.
They're revving up the curriculum. It's already had opiates in it, heroin and opiates in it, but they're really focusing in on that a lot more, especially the fentanyl problem.
They teach the dangers of drugs on the streets.
How are medicines stored in the house?
And in the medicine cabinet at home.
We start the conversation in as young as kindergarten. We know that having those seeds planted early on about safe use with medicines.
They reinforce refusal skills. An opioid toolkit comes packing resources. Among them, for teachers, drug education content, and the means to teach kids how to properly analyze influences. For students, what to say and what to do. And for parents, how to mind their medicines and learn telltale signs of drug abuse.
This is 2016.
In Baltimore County, Police Captain Wes Fisher speaks of the surge. Health educators get it.
I work in Essex, and it's amazing to see how many deaths and ODs that they were having in that actual area. Kids' emotional issues, where you see a lot of depression. You hear of kids who are being transitioned from one house to another.
Skills like decision making and refusal skills. Being able to, be analytical and understand, what's going on.
I hear stories all the time of kids that just talk about their relatives and what's going on at home.
The first thing to do is to attempt to arouse the student.
A year ago, Maryland began training for a worst-case scenario, an overdose in school. Now, every school nurse stocks naloxone, Narcan, the overdose drug.
We gave it in a high school in Anne Arundel County. There was a student who came in the morning and had signs and symptoms of opioid overdose.
The student, a female, April 2016.
She came in walking, talking, but you could see that her symptoms and her vital signs were rapidly decreasing, and all of a sudden she became unconscious. School staff, fresh from training and recognizing signs and symptoms, springs into action for real. Went through the whole checklist and knew to give Narcan. It actually took 2 doses to bring the student back.
I overdosed and I was dead for 11 minutes.
I had no intention of burying my son, and yet we did.
We live in fear every day that it's going to be her last.
I started using heroin, I believe I was about 18 or 19.
The video, Not My Child, hammers home the heroin epidemic in Anne Arundel County.
My daughter Katie, 16, when she started using heroin.
The problem is real.
My name is Katie, I'm 17.
And preventable.
I was 13 years old.
With education.
And it was peers.
I really believe that education and prevention is the way forward.
We need to get kids to be able to say, not interested, walk away.